Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about.
Yes, so much of things we need to see about here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you to this very important segment in the program where I will speak, laying the foundation for meaningful engagement. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to the usual. Share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off by saying there is a strategy being deployed by the NNP once they get to know or find out that a social safety net program is soon to roll out or recommence, restart. They go in front and start attacking the government and start calling on the government to not include politics in that particular program. But that's a strategy. The minute time they get to know the program is, let's say, a couple of days away from starting, they go on the Plead Your Cause program, they go on their platforms, meaning platforms that are friendly to them, and they start attacking the government because they believe the government going to listen and the government going to fall in line with their dictates, with what they want, because they are not stupid. They know that the social safety net programs are pretty much geared towards satisfying their support base, the NNP support base. The people who benefit the most out of the Poor Relief Assistance Program, out of the debushing program, out of the housing repair program, out of the voucher program, out of the geriatric caregivers program, out of the new Imani training program, out of the Empower program or the Hope program are predominantly NNP households, NNP supporters, because the NNP has a long history of making their supporters poor and keeping their supporters poor and vulnerable. So it is not just them coming and help, but they keep them in that condition. So they become dependent on the state. They become dependent on some minister or the government to give them X and give them Y. So what they tend to do is make loud noises for that kind of support to continue and to roll out, because they were somewhat getting frustrated that the program wasn't starting, when it normally would. So they started calling programs and pleading their cause and saying all manner of things about the program. But now that they get to know that the program will commence on Monday, they then say, okay, if they're starting the program Monday, I'm happy. I look forward to the program, but I want to urge the government not to do this and not to do that. Then they start to dictate to the government what they should and shouldn't do. But that's their strategy. They have always done so. But I want to encourage the NDC to look for your supporters, give them the contracts, give them the roadwork, and let it be a 7-3 or a 70% your support based and 30% the NNP. Right? So you're going to give them something too, because when the NNP was in power, it was just their people getting the contracts, getting the supervisor work, getting, well, the checkers. I think they call it contractors and is it checkers? Or the person who goes around and check the gangs and so on. And then the people who get the work, they are predominantly NNP supporters. And they have always done that. So they know what they are accustomed to doing. So the guilt on their conscience is now causing them to believe that the NDC will do the same thing that they used to do when they were in power. So they started calling already. They started calling programs and urging the government to please do not involve the politics in the distribution of this thing. So you have to understand what their strategy is. So the NDC must not bend. Your supporters have not had that opportunity for a long time to get the contracts because they always used to work under people. In fact, I remember when that roadwork came out and they asked an NNP person to work under an NDC person who used to work under her for many, 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 many fortnights. She refused. She said she has always been a contractor and she's not working under that NDC contractor. So I am saying, put your people as contractors, as people in charge of those gangs. And if those NNP supporters don't want to work under them, let them stay at home. Do not be moved by this, pity, sympathetic, cry kind of outlook from these people. Because for 20-something years, they have been benefiting from this social safety net program where millions of dollars is spent and they get that money. That is how the NNP used to keep these people where they want them, because the majority of these people who cause and fight and get on for the NNP are really poor people. People who look forward to this poor relief assistance or this debushing program. Because the 5% of the NNP who could read, write, and qualified, they were getting all the opportunity, all the big work, all the everything. They were eating a food. Yes. But the 95% of the supporters of that cult-like organization have always been very poor people. So they know that all these social safety net programs were really designed for them to keep them loyal to NNP. So when they were not getting that debushing program, because remember the government was focusing on agricultural lands and farmers, having them, clean, having them have workers go and clean their land and so on. They were very furious, very angry. But I am saying to the NDC, do not bend. Do what you have to do. Look for your supporters and give them the contract. Give them the contract. And let those NNP, one or two of them, work under the NDC supporters. And if they don't want to work under them, let them stay at home and grind and groan and complain and call the Plead Your Cause program and complain. Let them do that. Nothing is wrong with that. Because for 20-something years, our people have been left out. Our people have been denied the opportunity of a contract to the bush to work on the side of the road. Even the farm labor program under the NNP, it was really going to the NNP farmers who are known NNP supporters. They were the ones benefiting from that social safety net program. So nearly all the social safety net programs, the real true beneficiaries are the NNP supporters, because the NNP made these people poor and vulnerable and dependent on the state to take care of them. So you will hear the noise loud, but we should not be sympathetic or moved by that. You ever go to a funeral or a wake and the daughter or the son who were the rebels, they never look for the mother or the father, they never take care of the mother or the father or that family member, but they crying the loudest, they bawling the loudest, they beating up the coffin is what they're doing. TTV, fake. That's how the NNP operates. That's how the supporters of the NNP operate. That's how they normally do it. And then there are people who don't know and they start crying with them. They start feeling sympathetic and sorry for them. But they never looked for their family member. They never take care of that person. In fact, they might be crying with joy that they would get the house now, or the land now, or the money now. That's how the NNP supporters operate. So I am saying, do not be easily moved when they bawling and crying and pleading. Let them continue to plead their cause. Let them cry and groan and so on. So what? We have been out here in the wilderness for 23 years and a half. So I'm urging the members of parliament in the different constituencies, look for your supporters first and foremost and give them the contracts. Give them the debushing work. Same thing with the farm labor program. Look for your people and put them in those programs because it is important. Very, very important. Do not be easily moved by this fake cry. You know, in some parts of Africa, they pay women to wear something black and go and moan and weep and wail and at a funeral. It's the same thing the NNP supporters are doing. It's as though they pay them to cry and pay them to bawl. What were you doing with all the money you accumulated over the 20-something years of you being a contractor on the road cutting bush? What did you do with it? And as I speak about that, my mind goes straight to that piece that MTV brought, the first two items on the MTV News 2 nights or so ago, with some gentleman in the South, you know, that they went to and bring some story, and they come across as though government did this guy something wrong. The NDC just came into office and they did this guy something wrong, you know, so he lost his 2 bosses because the guy, he said he had 2 bosses and he had this and he had that and he had all kind of stuff, right? Okay. So you're blaming the NDC and you're calling on the MP for the South and the Minister of Social this and social that. You know, sometimes you have to laugh at some of those media, you know, well, quote unquote reporters and journalists. And then they brought a little piece of some lady claiming that she has 2 children or whatever, and they want to put her out as she place, some place that she, and she want a place to stay as though the government has to, and that is how they operate. And they calling on the government to this and the government. It's just amazing. But I laugh because yes, the media could be a very good tool to get help and assistance and so on. But sometimes you don't just throw things out there with the hope that somebody go listen and you won't get. Because when you listen to the story in depth, you realize that there are some people who fall from grace, right? And then you have to investigate, well, why this individual, 4 children, not even bothering with him, right? Why this young lady, her mother and father or family members, not even studying her? So you have to kind of investigate all those things. So here you have a man with 4 children, right? None of them studying him. They are in a good economic situation. It's amazing. But the news not going to look at that because they come with some kind of sad story. But that's how the NNP is operating generally. You hear them every morning. They plead and they beg. In fact, they're trying to give people the impression that the crime that's happening in Grenada is something new. And that because you have a new regime, this thing is happening. It's a farce. It's a lie. For the 20-something years of the NNP being in power, we have seen worse than that. More crimes. I am not saying that it's a good thing, right? And I want to urge the folks out there to behave themselves and walk away. And family members, many a times, you are responsible for a lot of things that are happening with certain family members of yours. Sometimes you're quick to come and talk and say certain things in the public, but many a times these young people are experiencing real hell under you. Family members, father, sister, mother, cousin, in fact, neighbors, even friends that you pose as friends and you undermine, you frustrate, you cause real distress on your other colleague, right? And I want to extend my deepest condolences to the family of that young lady from Chublu, who it has been reported, was found hanging sometime this morning or so. And it's a young lady that I know personally. We have been friends, way back when, right? When she comes to St. George's, she would check me out, holler at me, just normal friends, hi, hello, and so on. But it's really sad when young people would take their lives just like that. And you wonder. But I'm saying sometimes you have to investigate family members, right? They could frustrate these young people to drive them to that point. And young people could be very, very tender, especially when they grow up in situations where, they don't have to fetch for themselves. Everything comes easy. When they get everything right at the, it could become very difficult and lonely when the situation changes. Every little thing that is why I say to my daughter, I said, look, you have to fetch for yourself, right? You have to be tough. I want her to be tough. Sometimes friends come by and they, well, she shouldn't say that. I said, no, I said, say it again. Say it again, right? And say it so they can hear. I want you to be tough. I don't want you to become some little egg every time you're crying. I said, no, cry. And some of them, they say, sorry. What are you saying sorry for? So what do you think you're a slave? Huh? You're not perfect. Only sorry over and over. Sorry for what? Huh? No, toughen up yourself. You're not a slave. Toughen up. So it's important that you grow your children up tough so that they understand situations, so they do not fall into any little thing. Anybody tell them something, they get weak. You know how much people tell me stuff and say stuff, post stuff. Look at me, I'm stronger, right? So many a times I tell you, my daughter, my first daughter, it's like, sorry and sorry. Give me a break. What, sorry for what? How much times you ever say sorry for who you think you're apologizing to for like that? Huh? You're no slave. You're not a slave. Brave up yourself. We all are imperfect beings, right? It's simple like that. Sorry, what? Toughen up. You got to, tidy up the place when you do stuff. I said, tidy up the place. Do that. Wash the wares. Clean that. Do that. You just eat. Go wash the wares. You're 5 years. You're supposed to be able to do these things, right? Yes. If you have to sweep the yard, sweep it. Do what you got to do. When people tell you things, you don't come and cry like a little egg. No. Cry for what? Stand up. Stand up. Confront them if you have to. You don't have to be violent, but confront them. Right? And if you answer back, so what? Huh? You have to be tough, because when you get older, any little thing moving you, any little thing, and I want my daughters to be tough so they could handle any man, right? They could handle them, meaning that they can stand up to them, that they don't push around and don't drag about. No, it is simply, and you have to inculcate that early in them, so they won't be soft and every little thing. By the time somebody talk to you, you're running and you're going and crying a corner. So what? The world is tough. It is rough outside there, right? So you have to do that early o'clock. You come in and cry. Why you come in and cry to me for, Daddy? I say, watch me. Stop crying. Brave up yourself. What somebody tell you? What they tell you? Go and respond to them. Tell them what you have to tell them. Free up your mind. Yes, it's simple like that. And come by me and let us drink something and laugh. Let's drink a malt. So what? And then the parent come and go, come and tell me, daughter, why you joking? Get out of here. It's simple like that. You got to toughen up. Egg. Soft. So you got to tell your daughters and you got to inculcate that in them, right? Stand up. Walk over. No man walk over and push you some. You're joking. Your mother what? At the end of the day, you got to stand firm. So you have to do that early. Don't wait when it's too late. Everything comes easy for them. When they don't have it, what's going to happen? When it's not available around them, what's going to happen? If every little thing, you have to be tender, soft. Well, they expect everybody else to be soft with them. And the minute time they reach a stage where they encounter somebody tough. There's some women who are very, very tough, They could act like men in their approach. And when they tell you certain things, it could cut through your flesh, right? It could make you feel really, really bad. You understand the point? And you don't want to become that kind of. So again, it's so important, right? And it feels me, because you have a lot of young people who are taking their lives, right? And in recent times, 2 young ladies that I know. It's tough. But I am saying, look, family members, you have to look out for your family members too. And many a times we blame society and we blame this. And then you're right in your house. You frustrate your daughter so much that you understand the point. I'm telling you, sometimes it's right in the house. So you have people quick to go on radio and so on and call and say, well, a lot of crime, and pray. Well, go by the river with a bucket of clothes and pray for it to wash. You people are loose. You're quick to say, pray. Huh? Go by the river and pray for the clothes to wash. And many of you, your heart is, you can't even wash with soap. The evil, wicked. They're doing all kind of nastiness to their neighbors and their family members and their friends, and they deep in their hand in all kind of necromancy and nastiness. But they're quick to call and say, pray. And we need to pray and pray. How much pray you want again? Go by the river and pray for the clothes to wash. You go wash. Go and pray for it. Faith without works, it's in vain. You got to mix it. Yes, it's good to believe. It's good to pray. Praying is good, right? Pray. You could move mountains, but you have to be, true and real. That is why many people who pray, it's in vain, because they're not real. They're not real. They just make noise and they call words because they're academically inclined. They're not sincere. And they call and say, pray. Pray what? Just check them out. Check their closet. All kind of nastiness inside there. Doing all kind of bad things to people to destabilize their family and destabilize their lives. No good, right? But the family, there's a need. Every time you blame society, you blame government, is what you are blaming. You understand the point? But when it comes to you, looking yourself in the mirror and saying, but what have I done wrong? What am I doing that can, cause my family to be in this situation? And my daughter or my brother or my uncle or my cousin, how is my relationship with them? Right? What am I saying to them? What am I doing to them that is causing these things. You understand? I know of family members who put out their daughters and put out their son and all kind of thing, And then tutus, when they hear something happen with them, they hold in their head and bawl. Yeah, it's not easy, but I am simply saying sometimes it's good to look within. Introspection is sometimes it is really, really good. Looking within and seeing what you're doing wrong, what you're doing that may cause X, Y, and Z. Right? So it's really sad. We're seeing a number of things that are happening in Grenada. It's not new. Don't believe it's new. Right? They're not new. It might be a different person, but we have had worse in Grenada over the many, many, many years. But all I am saying is we need to do more as a family, as a community, as a country, but you hear people every time they call the radio, pray, 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 right? When they pray, 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 okay. Yeah, well, you're praying, you calling to pray, and you praying, and how you not change, how the situation not changing. It reminds me of after Hurricane Ivan, you had all these people and them out in the street. And they had a vision, and they had a vision, and the vision said this, and then we go get this and we go get that. But why you didn't come and tell us before? Or do you think you could fool some people or what? Why you didn't come out before and tell us, well, this is going to happen and that going to happen? Huh? God didn't know these people, a lot of these people. God didn't know them. No. Nope. But they going around and they all about all corner, street corner. And they had this vision and that vision. Why didn't come out before? Before it happened. Why didn't come out and tell us that? Huh? Yeah, you hear them every day. And we need to pray, and the government need to pray. And what the government do to you? Huh? What the government? We have experienced worse in this country. Remember when this guy took the Greenwich gentleman, he was a police or a former police, and his worker, when he cut the two heads and brought it in the Grenville police station. You remember that? In fact, that female officer never recovered. I think she left, she went overseas, never recovered when she saw two heads in the bucket. We have seen worse than that, right? A lot of crimes happen in this country. So don't give the impression that because NDC in power, this and that is happening. No. So it's sometimes I laugh because you would see worse as long as you live, right? So it's not a situation where you believe that it's the last you have seen. No, I remember when I was young, there's a guy who who was found hanging in his land. I remember also vehicular accidents happening. I remember Greenleaf, that bus. I was in school at the time. And, I remember those things. So a lot of those things happen. Of so many accidents on the western side, how much people died. And, I know of a lot of stabbing and chopping and gunshots here and so. This thing is not new. No, it's not. But we need to do more as family, society, and country to see how we could keep it on a low. But, I say to people, I don't lime around certain environment. And I'm very good at identifying environment that could cause problems. See, I am always at Ricky's, Bynes, and George's if I go to town, drinking or not. Right? For a good while, I have not been drinking alcohol, but I still hang there. And it's big people. You dare not go there and disrespect anybody or come and beg for a drink and so on. You say, get out. It's a mature crowd, right? If I go in certain environment and I realize it's toxic and so on, I move. Because I'm not going to go and serve anybody witness in court, right? If that happened in the past, it happened in the past. But the minute something happened, I gone. If I go to a party, me and my lady, and a fight break out, and she decides to go and see, I leave in a day now. Are you joking? Because I tell her before we go. When you hear noise, exit. We go in. It's simple like that. I leave in a right there. If you want to look and see, I gone. The minute I hear noise, I don't go and serve nobody witness in any court and this kind of thing and with stupidness and No, I gone. I go my way. The minute I don't want to, I gone. If it's bad enough, I go see it on the news. If it's bad enough, I'm going to see it on Facebook. I go see it on Instagram. I'm going to see it on the news. I don't have time for that. No, right? And if we can adopt that same kind of thing, we're going to be in a better place. You mind your business. You don't get involved in any unnecessary stupidness. I would go in certain environment, and the minute time I hear certain people talk, I say, you see that? That's an ignoramus. Right? That's an ignoramus. I have nothing to say to that person, and I distance myself immediately. Because people who are ignorant tend to do irrational things, illogical. They do things that are not, normal. And if I go in an area and I hear they say that person have a mental problem, I stay somewhat far because I don't want them to trip. And when the moon up, you see a lot of them come to St. George's. Plenty of them come to St. George's. Those folks with mental issues. The moon, they operate with the moon. Don't underestimate nature, Don't underestimate that. But I'm saying all of this to say to you, you try to avoid certain environments, right? For example, there are certain shows. So me, I go in them show with them little children, and I like to enjoy myself. I like to free up. If you don't know, let me tell you, I like to free up myself. And once you're around me, you go smile. The thing go nice. You go turn up. But there are certain events. I say, me, go away with little children and them. They have nothing to lose. I remember I went some years ago, me and a superintendent of police. We went in an event. And a fight broke out and he grabbed me. He said, boy, come. I didn't want them to know I'm a police. He said, who, me? Them young people, They stab him. He has his mortgage. He's the sole breadwinner of his house, right? And he have his 2 children in college. You're joking? You have a mortgage to take care of. And when they stab him and they kill him, they're coming out at 20-something years and 31 years. You can imagine that? They kill you. They spend 8 years, 10 years in the jail because some lawyer will want plead and beg for them and they come out in no time. And if they get all that, and they come out at 20-something and early 30s, they have a whole future in front of them. But they kill you, you're underground, and your family go right back into poverty. Right back into poverty. And they can't pay mortgage. They're selling the house, they're selling the vehicle, they're selling everything. He grabbed me, say, boy, come. He said, I don't want them to know I'm a police. That's a lesson I learned, and that stuck with me. The minute I hear noise and anybody gone, I'm moving. Because I'm not going and serve anybody, any witness in any court. I don't have time for that. Waste that time you spend. First day you go, they throw off the case. Second, they put off the case. Third day, fourth day, and you go over and over and over as though you're walking in the court. For years. It is simple like that. I choose my environment. If I realize that it's toxic, it's not good for me, I'm not saying that something can happen to me. I'm not saying that. Right? I don't know what would befall me down the road, but I try my best to avoid it. Avoid certain things. And then it will be all cool. I go in a particular area, I see a man and a police back and forth. I gone. Somebody say, okay, I'm just. I say, what that to do with me? I gone my way. I mind my business. I go my way. If the thing bad enough, I go see it on the news. I go hate on the news. Some people may say, well, Cam Jones, no, that's me. That's me. I'm that type of person. Right? And if we can implement that and work accordingly, you would have less crimes. Yes, you're going to look out for your people, your neighbor, your family member, and so on. Everywhere I live, me and my neighbors, we are nice. I have a lovely neighborhood here. It's like one house here, one house at the back, one house at the front. I mean, it's far apart, but that's my little setting. They are my neighbors, right? Close by, elderly folks here. We nice, we good, right? I check on them, they check on me. That's how we go. When I was living on the other side, same thing. Same kind of love. Wherever I live, nice, good vibes. It's how you relate, how you deal with people. But I'm simply saying certain things we can avoid. Some things don't concern you, unnecessary, and you might just go and put more fire to the thing. You choose your environment, choose your setting, your friends, if you're in need of help, you speak to somebody who you confide in, who you believe in. Speak to them. People who you can, I remember I had a friend who used to be around me very often, and he was somewhat depressed. And he said to me, boy, Kem Jones, I'm depressed. I'm stressed out. Things were a bit tough on his end. And he asked me, who can I speak to? And I know my daughter, my sister, she's a psychologist, right? She's trained, qualified, competent. She has a master's degree in psychology and so on, clinical psychology, and a first degree in psychology and so on. So I ask him if he wants to speak with her or, have her listen to his situation and so on. And he said, well, he knows her very well, so certain things he wants to. And then I got another person who's kind of far away who can communicate with him, right? So there are people you can reach out to, who you can communicate with, and they can listen to you, right? And the first thing you have to acknowledge that you have a problem. If you can't acknowledge you have a problem, then you will not get help, right? And depression hurts. It is a silent killer. There are people who smile with you and they're depressed, they're stressed out, they're frustrated, and anything you say could tip them off the balance. That is why you say less and you listen more, or you avoid certain things. It's simple like that, right? It's tough out there. I personally know it. So again, I urge everyone, look out for one another, particularly your family members. You may not be able to identify a person who is depressed because it's a silent thing. It's a very quiet thing. It's a lonely thing, right? But if you do, seek help for the person, right? And don't be too hard on your family members and so on, because you never know what they're going through. And society could be very, very tough on people. I could tell you that. It has no mercy. So to those who out there making people believe that this is the first time we have experienced this kind of crime in Grenada, and there are some people who don't like their country. Yeah, you just listen to some of them. They would make you believe that the Royal Grenada Police Force doesn't have a good record of crime solving cases. This Royal Grenada Police Force we have here in Grenada, right here, they have one of the highest rates of solving crimes in the region. They solve crimes. It might take some time, but there are certain people, if they pass, if they die, and because, quote unquote, they were in a particular sect or group or whatever, then they believe that the police should solve that crime overnight and arrest somebody who ought not to be arrested, who not involved. Give the police the chance and the time to investigate the case properly. But then you out there making people believe that, it's a hate crime, making people believe that this person was targeted, or this group or the group of people were targeted. And there are certain people who are doing that, on their platform. They're dangerous, Yeah, they on their platform, making people believe that certain incidents, certain crimes are hate crimes, or people are targeting a certain group of people in Grenada because they want a bad publicity for Grenada. They're dangerous, Some of them, they in university, lecturing and so on, and they should know better. They should know better, but no, they want a stain on Grenada, so they on their platform saying all manner of stuff about your own country, not because you're outside of Grenada, right? You're on your own platform, bad mouthing Grenada, because they want people to believe that it's some people are targeting certain people. That's not the case. Grenada is one of the most peaceful islands in the Caribbean. Peaceful, tolerant too. Tolerant across the board. I'm telling you. But no, you have these people out there, because they have a platform and they call in on this and they call in on that and they post in all kind of stuff to give the outside world this impression that Grenada is some society that don't respect people's right to X or Y or Z. Give the police a chance to investigate the crimes because they have a good track record of solving crimes. Grenada is not no banana republic. Come on, give the damn police a chance to investigate thoroughly the matter. It's as though you want to put a gun in the police head to just go and arrest a person or two or whatever. What is this? Why you not like that for other matters, but all of a sudden that matter you And don't give people the impression that there is some hate crime or something like that in this country. No. No. Let the police thoroughly investigate. You're not too quick to come to conclusion. And you like to talk your country bad so much that even if you're some associate professor or whatever in some university and you have a little platform, you believe you have the authority to bump your gum and badmouth your country. Huh? Look at in Barbados. A lot of things happen in Barbados. You hear about it? You hear about it? Huh? No, because they understand that the greater good of the country comes first. They don't go about publishing all kind of things and trying to make your country look bad. No, let the matter be thoroughly investigated. A little bad-minded. That is exactly what it is. A lot of you all. Bad-minded. You want to see your country on its knees because you know that there are agencies and organizations that fund certain things here and they are big on certain things. So if you go there publishing stuff and saying all kind of nasty things about people, about your country, then it will get a stain for a long time. Grenada is a peaceful place and a very tolerant place. So don't give people that impression. Don't. This is our country. And we want good for our country. And stop blaming this and blaming that. Let the police thoroughly investigate the matter or other matters. Or little quick to go on Facebook and other social media site and talk your country bad and post all kind of things about your country. But you must also post, when you're posting, that the Royal Grenada Police Force has a very high rate or percentage of solving crimes in the Caribbean. One of the best in solving crimes. Even after many, many years, they're able to solve those crimes. Post that too, that we have a police force that can actually, even if it takes months or weeks, they're going to get to the bottom of it. And they get convictions nearly every time. Come on, stop it. So you're all out there posting all kind of rubbish, giving people the impression, look, at the end of the day, I know what's going down. You want to stain your country. You want to talk your country bad. You want Grenada to be on its knees to give people the impression that once you're a part of a certain group, you're not welcome. No, that's not true. You are welcome here. We are a tolerant society. We respect your right to do X or Y. We are not going to violate you. Why should we? Why? But when you have crimes of passion and so on, you have people quick to grab up and say, well, it's a hate crime or it's a thing that was targeted to this and targeted. Many a times it's crimes of passion. Yeah, many a times. So let them put that in their pipe and smoke it because I know they would respond. I expect that. The kind of girly type, they will respond. Expect a response either today, tomorrow or so. Yeah, the kind of girly type, quick to respond and put big bead in the neck and respond. Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and respond. But what I am saying is the truth. You're too quick to attack your country, to stain your country, to post all kinds of stuff, to destabilize your country, to bring your country to its knees. You're too quick to do that. Allow the police to thoroughly investigate the matter. It is simple like that. I don't believe I don't read and follow what's going on, social media and otherwise. Don't fool yourself. I'm on top of things. So I know what's going down. But I had to address this because it's Grenada they're seeking to damage and destroy and stain, but they're not going to succeed because Grenadians are welcoming people. We are warm and we are tolerant. We do not, go after you because of your belief or because of your sexual orientation or because of your standing and your political dissent. No, we do not. We do not. Right, folks, so I get it off the way, or out of the way. Right, out of the way. I want to, again, encourage you to support my first event. And may I say here This is the only platform, well, this on Facebook or social media, that I'm actually advertising and promoting this. So I want you to help me promote it. If you know of your family members or friends who listen to what I do, follow what I do, and they're in a position to buy a ticket to my first event, or, you know, buy a ticket for somebody, or just sponsor by buying a ticket or two, please have them purchase a ticket online on ridebuy.com. That's RYDEBUY.com, COM, that's com. You can go there and purchase a ticket. You're going to see Kem Jones Appreciation event. You're going to see a flyer like this on that site. You're going to see a flyer like this on the site. All right? Kem Jones Appreciation Carnival Edition, event number 1 at Wildwoods Park, close to Fantasia Beach. It starts at 4 p.m. and we go until about 10 or so. It's an all-inclusive event, 300 EC per ticket, right? 300 EC per ticket, and 110 US for ticket, or 150 Canadian. So I want to urge you, if you're coming to Grenada for Carnival, make this event one of the events that you will come to, right? All-inclusive, it's a live band, DJ, food. It's a big people thing. It's not for, jump and wave and misbehave and so on. It's a big people thing. It's a mature people thing. All right. A lot of local foods and, drinks and everything like that. You could take the time to go on Fantasia Beach and, you could come back. It's an all-white event with a Hawaiian style. You're going to have your Hawaiian, necklace and other things, right? So I'm saying, please support if you can. Go on that site and purchase a ticket or 2 or 3 or 4, any amount you can purchase, because it will go a long way, because this particular event is towards me getting a radio station to buy the equipment and everything like that, right? For a radio station, I'm tired with being in a studio, a home studio. I need a radio station where we can employ 4 or 5 people and we can get things going. We have to move to the next level. So if you're out there and you like what I do, you want to see it grow and expand, please buy a ticket. And that you don't need to send it the money via Western Union or MoneyGram, because you can do online, right? And if you want to send the money via Western Union or MoneyGram, towards that, you can holler at me, send me a WhatsApp message, and I'll follow up with you. Easy. I'll send you the information and you can send it towards the ticket. Nothing wrong with that. But you can easily go online with your credit card, your debit card on Ride. That's RYDE by BUY.com. We have so far reached about 30 something tickets, about 35, 36 tickets, somewhere around there. But we need to reach 150 or more to really realize something. So I want to urge you, you follow me, you listen to what I do, you like what I do. This is a good opportunity for you to support what I do. This first event, even if you're not coming, go online, or you see me, you can buy a ticket just to support the event, right? And remember, it's a big people event. It's not no raga, 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 it's a white affair with a Hawaiian touch, right? You can come, go to the beach, you could enjoy the local foods, drinks, and everything like that. So I urge you, please make it a date. Thursday, August the 3rd, right? That's the week before the real peak of Carnival. So once you come in, I know people will be rolling into Grenada July, the last week in July, right? I know that for a fact, because we expect about 60,000 people or so here in Grenada for Carnival. And those who are in Grenada or Carriacou, for that matter. In fact, someone from Carriacou yesterday called me to get a ticket, right? Sponsor a ticket. They're not able to come, but they want to sponsor one. So even if you're in Carriacou, you could do the same thing. You can sponsor a ticket. You can call me up. I can tell you what to do and so on. It's not hard, but I want you to support this event. I urge you to do so, because it is important that you support this event. We still have about 100 and something tickets left still. So please, I urge you to come on board. Folks, thank you very much for being a part of the program. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now. I'll be back with you tonight in the hub. Bye for now.
The proceeding was a paid